the need to have yourself heard and to influence this inchoate thing called a TV show, when it's so personal, it engenders a lot of feeling. And there were a lot of feelings attached to it. Everyone's experience of high school is unique and authoritative. And when it differs from someone else's, that was a source of something conflictual sometimes.
Most of the things that depicted adolescence, I think, were fundamentally exploitative in some way. It was only about sexuality, titillation, that sort of thing. And to try to come from the inside of the experience was something that you just weren't seeing on television. So I had already attempted that from a boy's point of view, and I also had a thought about doing a series based on a girl's diary, and where you would see that her diary was not accurate. In other words, her perceptions of what she saw were not necessarily accurate. So I had all these ideas floating around in my head, and we sat down with Winnie just to talk about what kind of a series we could do together, because we loved her and we loved our experience working with her on 30-something.
Marshall and Ed had a philosophy that they were bringing to TV that we were all influenced by. One of the elements was make television personal, make it something you actually have to say.
I think the first thing she did was actually write some voiceover. She just wrote in the voice of a girl. And it wasn't scenes or anything like that. We didn't have a story. She just started writing this girl's observations.
What was really clear from the beginning, once Winnie began writing in that voice, in those first, exploratory monologues that she was just writing without shape, without form, that there was no question but that this girl existed within her.
I started to write these little diary entries, and I remember I gave them to him, and he was like, this is it. This is the series. And I started to find in there her voice and what I wanted to explore.
The thought that I might be seeing Jordan Catalano in a few hours was like impossible to comprehend. Like when they first tell you about infinity.
I was empowered by them to write, write from my heart, to write in a way that expressed some things I really thought about, and not to create what I thought TV executives wanted. It was actually the opposite, to kind of just create what I wanted.
Do you have anything to drink or anything?
You drink?
Oh, I know. Why shouldn't I?
I don't know.
Why? Because I'm too innocent?
No.
I'm sick of being like that.
Well, Angela.
What?
I'm just...
Why? Is there something really wrong with me?
No.
A television series, in my view, is a living thing. It's not an hour episode or a 2-hour movie. It's many times a 20-hour arc.
It's like a repertory theater in which you are doing, in this case, a different play every week. And obviously every episodic television show has that. I just felt in this one, it was experienced even more intensely than most.
30-something certainly had a similar kind of effect, but it was people who were more grown up and they loved the show and they felt like it was about them and they had a warm feeling about it. But My So-Called Life had a sense of a formative influence on people.
People used to say it was a show about teenagers. It was to some extent, but I really thought of it as a show about people where the theme was being a teenager.